welcome to my channel. I'm Katie. This is Katie's Bookish Escape, and today I'm going to be telling you why I love the Shades of Magic trilogy and why I think you might too, if you are like me. Could I get any closer? Woo! Alright, so there are 3 books in this trilogy. This is by Victoria Schwab, also known as V.E. Schwab. I've met the woman twice. Love her. Adore her. She's awesome. Her social media presence is great, and I really connect with her. I went to a book signing at Barnes & Noble when Vengeful from another series came out, and I just, like, the people who love Victoria Schwab, like, they are my people. I love these people. I've gone to some other signings where I was like, I feel like I'm too old to be here. So I didn't feel that way with Victoria Schwab. I definitely felt like I fit in that niche of Victoria Schwab fans. Victoria Schwab writes middle grade, YA, and adult novels. These books are technically adult. We have A Darker Shade of Magic, which is the first book in the trilogy. This is a collector's edition. So the original edition is white, and this gold part is black. Then the second one is A Gathering of Shadows, which is my favorite cover, though my least favorite book, unfortunately. This is also a collector's edition, but I do have the regular one. Looks like this. So I love the artwork. And then the last one is A Conjuring of Light. Okay, I don't have the collector's edition of this one because it hasn't come out yet. What is this series about? This series is about a man named Kel, and he has a little magical coat. The series is adult fantasy. It is not epic fantasy. It's more like urban fantasy. So you see different world aspects, but you're not going to get this like a grandiose epic adventure. You get adventure and you get world building, but it's not like it doesn't follow like a Lord of the Rings style journey. Alright, so we have our main character, Kel. We have 2 main characters. It's a dual perspective. So Kel lives in Red London. There are 4 parallel Londons. We have Red London, Grey London. Oh god, is that how they go though? Shiza. We have, okay. The order is important because you can only go, you have to go in order. You can't, like, go from one to the next. Okay, this doesn't make sense. Alright, so we have Red London, Grey London, White London, and Black London. Grey London, or Red London is where Kel is from. And Kel is in Antari. I'm not sure how to say it, to be honest. I say Antari. Which means he can use blood magic. So basically cutting himself with blood and doing some kind of spell to do certain spells. There are only a certain amount of spells that you can do, and only people who are Antari can do these spells. A physical feature of the Antari is one of their eyes is solid black. So Kel is one of 2 of the only known living Antaris. He lives in Red London. He lives with the royal family of Red London, and he serves kind of as a diplomat going between the other Londons. So that's him. And then the other character is Lila Bard. And Lila is from Grey London. Grey London is like our London, set in like the later 1800s, so before cars. So she has no magical properties. There's no magic in her dimension or whatever in Grey London. There's no magic. Okay, so Red London, where Kel's from, it's thriving with magic. It's gorgeous. V.E. Schwab said her inspiration for Red London was kind of like Arabia, Middle East area. And you really see that. Like when I think of like the marketplace, I always think of like an Arabian soak, which is like in Aladdin, where Jasmine almost gets her hand cut off. Like that kind of thing. And the river is red. but not a blood. It's just red. And then Grey London is just like normal, what we know. White London is starving for magic, so everyone is kind of like, there's power, like lots of greed among leaders who are trying to get that magic and hold on to it as desperately as they can. Then the last London, Black London, has allegedly been totally engulfed in magic and like has been destroyed by magic, and it ceases to function and it is closed off. So the other Antari is another major character. I wouldn't say main character. Sometimes you get his perspective, and that's Holland, and he is an Antari that is literally under the control of the king and queen, who are twins in White London. So he comes off as very, like, sketchy, because the White London people, like I told you, they're very much so wanting to hold on to power and get more of it. And they don't mess around when it comes to people they don't like. So Kell goes between Londons to communicate with the leaders of the other dimensions, or other Londons. And he has a side job, a smuggling job. Now, it is illegal for an Antari to bring a piece of one London into another London, other than like little coins, because you cannot get to another London unless you have a token from the other London. So for instance, if no one has something from Black London, no one can get in there. And that's pretty much how it's shut off. Now, Kell likes to live dangerously because he's just not feeling fulfilled in his life. And so he has like a little side smuggling business where he gets people who... So, like in Grey Londoners don't really know about the other Londons other than the king. So there are some people in Grey London who like suspect magic, and basically they represent all of us fantasy nerdos. But basically those are the people he sells to. He also kind of likes to see if there are people like capable of magic, which like he never really runs into. But yeah, he gets in a sticky situation in Grey London, and that's how he bumps into Miss Lila Bard. And then things happen, and more things happen, and more things happen, and then all of a sudden they have to do something in order to save the universe. So that is basically book 1 in a nutshell. And then book 2 and 3, I'm not going to tell you the plots because that could spoil book 1. But I will say I love Kell. Kell is one of my favorite characters, main characters of all time. He's so kind, and he's sweet, and he really loves fiercely, and he's very loyal to his family. He's very loyal to Lila, and I just love him so much. Now, Lila can be a little annoying to some people. I didn't find her that annoying, but I understand why people did. She basically had no one that loved her growing up, other than one person kind of looked out for her, and because of that, she has like 5,000 walls and thinks like everyone's trying to kill her, which like honestly a lot of people are, but so she's super hostile and volatile and bitter. But I didn't mind that because I felt like it was perfectly explained by how she had to live her life. Holland, the character Holland that I mentioned, I will say he has an amazing story arc. Holland is one of my all-time favorite villains, so that's another plus. Those are like the 3 main characters. I'm not going to really go into side characters because I don't want you to be spoiled at all. But I will say I rated all of these books 5 stars, but I loved the 3rd one the most, because it is just a super complete ending to the story, and I never got bored. This is like, how many pages? This is about 630 something pages. I never got bored. The pacing was amazing. She tied everything up to where I felt like it was completed. I felt satisfied. I thought it all made sense. I love book 3. And like, oh my god, the character interactions in book 3 are just like wonderful. Other than that, I love A Darker Shade of Magic, the first book. This could have been a standalone, honestly. Like, if this was a standalone, I would still love this book. So, yay. Going into the second and third book, I was like, I don't know if I'll ever find a book I like as much as this, because it was just like pure enjoyment for me. It starts a little bit slow, but once it picks up, like it really picks up. And I just loved all the characters and found them really fascinating. And the whole idea of parallel Londons is just so intriguing to me. I'm a history person. I'm a history teacher. So I love that idea. I love the time, anything that has to do with like time and dimension changes. I dig it, as long as it's done well. Time done poorly is like horrible though. But this doesn't deal with time really, does it? I can't recall if there is anything with time. No, not really. Just other dimensions, which I loved. Now, my least favorite is the second book, A Gathering of Shadows. This book does fall under second book syndrome. It is entertaining. If you like YA, you'll probably like this book. It has some YA tropes, and I know some people, their complaint is like the series reads YA to them, and that's why I think it's a good like in between like YA fantasy and adult fantasy, because kind of similar to Mistborn, the characters are a little bit younger on the adult side, and sometimes they just like, it makes sense why they don't have experience in certain areas, but they just make choices that I'm like, oh, come on, like, grow up a little bit. So that's why I found the second one to be not as great. However, I still loved it. I still gave it 5 stars. And there is, like, a magical tournament. So, yeah, that's super cool. So I hope you enjoyed my explanation of what is the Shades of Magic series by V.E. Schwab and why I love it, and I hope you give it a try. I know it's super hyped on YouTube, but I love it, so it's my channel and I'm gonna talk about what I love. Alright, so this has been Katie's Bookish Escape. Have a great day. Feel free to comment down below if you've read the Shades of Magic series, what you thought about it. Feel free even to disagree. Or if you're planning on reading it, or if you're not interested in reading it and why. Also, feel free to subscribe if you want to see more of my videos and ring the little bell. And have a wonderful day. Bye.